Hello, this is a recording of the presentation for the webinar Interactive Technology in the EFL Classroom by Dr. John Kolek and Ina Stevens. This webinar was conducted in December 2012 for teachers of English in Russia, and about 100 teachers participated in the event. You can find links to the webinar flip chart and to the full audio recording of the event on the net.edu.eu website, and this is a link, and here is a page itself. As we received requests from teachers to provide a recording of our webinar presentation, we decided to do this, and we hope that interactive whiteboard users will find this presentation useful.
Good afternoon and good evening to those who are joining us from the regions where it's already evening. We're very happy to begin our program of Promethean webinars with this first webinar aimed at teachers of English. In many classrooms throughout Russia, teachers of English are using technology to manage their lessons, and they're being really creative in their use of interactive technology. We believe that our presentation today will be very productive and helpful, and that it will help you design great teaching materials, as well as assisting us in developing products to meet the challenges of the modern classroom.
Thanks to the Upper Crow for this wonderful opportunity to conduct our webinar on one of the most popular teacher professional development platforms. Thanks also to the British Council and to the regional teachers associations for your information support.
To begin with, I'd just like to talk a little bit about your presenters today. My name is John Kolek, and I'm a Senior Education Consultant at Promethean. Before Promethean, I worked as a lecturer in English and English literature at university. My specialism is actually Shakespeare, but I also spent 10 years teaching at university in Japan, including English as a foreign language.
And I'm Ina Stevens. I started my career as a teacher of English in Yaroslavl, was involved in British Council projects as a teacher trainer, and now work as a teaching and learning consultant for Promethean. I conduct trainings for teachers on the use of interactive technology in Russia and many other countries.
I'd like to start by talking a little bit about Promethean. Promethean is a global education company that is entirely committed to supporting teaching and learning. We focus on student-centered and collaborative learning, and we do this through our integrated technology, our training, content, and assessment solutions that help teachers meet individual student needs. Our products are used in more than 950,000 classrooms around the world, and PrometheanPlanet.com, our teacher portal, is the world's largest interactive whiteboard community site, and it provides over 1 million members with access to over 60,000 free teaching resources. But perhaps the most important thing for me about Promethean is the fact that over 50% of the people who work at the company are ex-teachers. Ina used to teach English as a foreign language, and my background is lecturing in English literature, specifically Shakespeare. Now, what this means is that as a company, we really understand both the needs of education and also the day-to-day practicalities of teachers and educators working in schools. So as I said before, we are an education company first and foremost. And we work closely with major educational publishers to develop content that can be used in exciting new ways in the classroom. And here you can see a selection of some of the publishers that we work with. And you can probably see here that we have key EFL companies such as Pearson, Longman and Macmillan.
The aims of our webinar today are to have a new look at interactive whiteboard in classrooms. We know that there are some myths about interactive whiteboards in language classrooms. For example, that interactive whiteboards mean teacher-centered learning. We will try to have a fresh look at interactive technology and give examples of opportunities that it offers EFL teachers. We will discuss how to use LRS for communication and feedback. The abbreviation LRS stands for Learner Response Systems and includes different types of devices and software, from a simple 6-button device such as Promethean ActivInspire to handsets with QWERTY keyboard such as ActivExpression, allowing you to write words and phrases. Software such as ActivEngage lets you take part in a voting session or express opinion from your laptop, tablet or smartphone. We will be looking for answers for the following questions. How can interactive whiteboard software help make lessons personalized and authentic? Create activities quickly and easily. Make the board a digital hub to connect all your resources. And what questions to ask with learner response systems? We will share with you the latest trends in development of interactive technology and hope that you will enjoy our exploration.
Okay, I want to begin by showing you some typical ways in which interactive whiteboards are already used in EFL classrooms. Here you can see some examples. In the top left, we've taken a sentence and we've mixed up the words, and here the pupil has to rearrange them in the correct order. This is actually a famous quote from Shakespeare, Shakespeare's Richard III. So that's an example of a simple activity. Below that, you can see how we've used magic ink to hide key grammar words. So here, where it says, can you recommend Space a good hotel, or she stayed in Space, most expensive hotel in London, we could ask the student to write what they think are the correct answers, and then they can use the eraser, as you can see, to remove the magic ink to show the correct word. And finally, on the right-hand side, you can see a typical example of a simple programming activity using containers to test vocabulary. So, for example, if we drag the wrong word into the box, it jumps back out, whereas the correct word will stay in the box. Now, these are all simple and useful examples, but they're focused mainly on grammar and vocabulary drills. They don't really offer any opportunities for discussion between the students or between the students and the teacher. Now, of course, the primary goal of most EFL courses is to get the pupils to communicate in English.
This is a photo from my mobile phone. It is really easy to insert a photo or video from your camera or mobile into a flip chart page. There are USB ports on the side of the active board, so students can connect their devices easily to share their photos or videos. So, where do you think this photo was taken? Any variants? Okay. Yes, you're right, John. Beaumaris Castle in Wales. Let's make this photo a bit bigger. This health and safety notice could be converted by students from the visual to an audio format, and will possibly need modal verbs, and they will need modal verbs to do it. The task would be to produce a radio health and safety announcement for castle visitors. Students produce this in small groups, making recording, using their laptops or even phones, and then the whole class could listen to this radio announcement after they are inserted into the page. And you can see that we can easily insert media, because we have here in ActivInspire insert, and then we have media, and you just insert a picture or an audio file as you everything what you have on your computer or other devices. So here we can see now a sign for an audio file. Let's listen to it.
Children must be accompanied by an adult at all times. Take care when walking, as pathways may be slippery. Extra care must be taken on stairs, as there is danger of falling. Beware of low-flying birds.
This example shows how you can easily create an activity with ActivInspire. I have taken this photo of an instruction. You can find many instructions on packs or in manuals which can be used as authentic texts. With the help of camera tool, I can deconstruct this instruction. Tools, camera, and now this is our snapshot area. You see I can move it and I can change the size of it. And this is the way how I can cut out sentences or words or images if I need to create activities. I've already done this. Now we can ask students to put the instruction in order, and they can use the connectors tool to do this. Connector. We can choose a type of line. Let's take this one, and we can choose a color we like. Oh, this is definitely the first one for a perfect pot of tea. Oh, the next one will be probably this one, use fresh water. And now, what is the next? Rinse the pot with boiling water. Add 3-4 teaspoons of tea. So now you see that these parts of text are on flexible connection now. So we can move them. Oh, I really like this phrase here, whether you add milk before or after is open to debate. If you would like a process to be described, for example, when your students are practicing the passive voice, you can use connectors to make flexible flowcharts for processes.
Following on from Ina's demonstration, I just wanted to include this as an example of some of the many resources available on the internet to facilitate communication. This is a joke instruction leaflet from IKEA showing how to build the famous British monument of Stonehenge with the help of some friendly giants. There are lots of activities you could do with this. You could, for example, ask the students to create an audio commentary, or you could cut the leaflet into sections, as we saw in Ina's example, and ask the students to work in groups, in English of course, to arrange the pieces in the correct order. Now, at Promethean, we're always developing software to help educators create activities and to manage the learning process. When I was teaching in Japan, I would often use brainstorming at the beginning of a lesson. This is a very useful activity to find out what the students already know, whether it's vocabulary or knowledge about a specific subject. It provides the lesson with a framework to link the new learning to, and it can be run as a whole class or as a group activity. Now, what you can see here is Promethean's Noteboard, which is an application that is designed for use with our AB500 interactive whiteboard. It's very simple. You use a pen to write notes, as you can see on the board, and then you use your pen and finger to organize the concepts and to create links between them.
Now let us play a travel game. This activity demonstrates how game and communication can be organized effectively with the help of the interactive whiteboard. This activity is one of 400 activities for the interactive whiteboard from a book by Pete Sharma, Barney Barrett and Francis Jones, 400 Ideas for Interactive Whiteboard, published by Macmillan in 2011. Create a page with a grid and several different colored circles. You see? These are the circles. Divide the students into small groups and ask them to brainstorm as many problems as they can imagine associated with traveling and staying at a hotel. Let's have some examples. Let's say here, your flight is cancelled. When students are ready, they add their problems to the empty squares on the game board. Now the game starts. The first team rolls the dice and moves their counter. If we go to Math Tools, we can find Dice Roller tool, and this tool will help us to play this game. The first team rolls the dice and moves the counter. A student reads out the problem or a situation. The team nominates a traveler who performs a role play in the situation that arises from the problem, with a student from another team. The game is over when one of the team reaches the end, or when all the teams reach the end. I have inserted a link to the macmillan.ru page. You can see the link is here, where you can find more information about 400 ideas for interactive whiteboards. This is a really useful book for the EFL Classroom.
In the good old days, using video or sound in an EFL Classroom was always a bit of a challenge. You had to make sure that the tape or the DVD was cued to the right point, and often the teacher would waste a lot of time fiddling around with the technology. With ActivInspire, it's very easy to embed video in the flip chart itself. What I've done with this particular flip chart is I've chosen a simple example from the NASA website. We're going to, in a short while, we're going to show you a short science video explaining about the weather on Mars. I didn't even need to download this. I actually embedded it using HTML. And so what you will see will be streaming from the NASA website. The nice thing about this video is that the English is very clear, and the animation itself contains the keywords. As you can see, we can also use the video controls to take snapshots of the film while it's playing.
Is Mars red hot? Mars may look hot, but don't let its color fool you. Mars is actually pretty cold. In orbit, Mars is about 50 million miles farther away from the Sun than Earth. That means it gets a lot less light and heat to keep it warm. Mars also has a hard time holding on to the heat it does get. On Earth, much of the Sun's heat gets trapped in our atmosphere, which acts like a blanket to keep our planet warm.
Now the students can use the stills that we took from the video that you just saw to create a storyboard like this, and they can now practice making comparisons between the conditions on Mars and on the Earth. For example, they can say things like Mars is much further away from the Sun than the Earth, or Mars is much colder than the Earth.
Our students today are digital content creators. They upload videos to YouTube, write blogs and create memes. This is how we should look at interactive technology as a tool for digital content creators. One of the new products by Promethean is ActiveTable. ActiveTable allows up to 6 students working collaboratively using multi-touch technology, and it has a pack of pre-installed activities. I would like to tell you about 3 of them. Students can create a presentation together or design a digital poster or a digital newspaper, working together as a team with different roles: designer, author, researcher. Furthermore, an extremely important feature of this technology is that the teacher can track the input of every student in the digital product. Collaborative storytelling is an activity to encourage creative writing and can also be used in English lessons. This is the end of part 1 of our presentation. You can download the flip chart for this presentation from prometheanplanet.io, and you can also join our page on Facebook. Thanks a lot.